Hello, everybody. Hey, Tugboat. No more cards this week. We're gonna do a commission. Hey, Keith. Hello, Emma. Anthony. Hello from UK. Better for us Brits having the earlier start. Oh, is that You guys don't have daylight savings, do you? Or do you? I don't know, actually. I will say about the cards, though, that we just this afternoon got the store on my website going. So if you wanted to order a sign or a sketch card of those magic cards, you can do that from my website, mrcrook.com. Hey, Michael. Hey, Michael, I'm on that. Listen to the audiobook of that time book you recommended. I've forgotten what it's called already. But I'm going to have to listen to it twice. I am barely able to follow it at all. 2 a.m. there. Yikes. Man, that is early. Yeah, this live stream is not set up for England for really. Hello, Dylan. The Order of Time. Yeah, that's the one. It's a trip, though. It's a really fun book, actually. So today, I'm going to work on a Colonel Weird commission. For some reason, YouTube said that this live was for tomorrow. Huh. That's weird. I wonder, where are you at, Dylan? Are you... Yeah, sometimes time zones will get it confused. But I don't know. I don't know how YouTube actually works. I don't know how any of this stuff works. I see Clip Studio Paint going there. I couldn't get used to the UI on the iPad and just stick to the desktop. That's so weird. It's the exact same. Like, it is wild how it is. Like, I wish more apps were like this, where they would just port the app over as is. But it is weird how small it is. Working on a 12-inch screen is not as easy as, like my Cintiq is 26-inch. That's way different. Yeah, not having the keyboard is a big deal. But I use Clip Studio in such a specific way because I only use it for penciling. I really only use like maybe a half a dozen tools, really, maybe a little bit more than that. In Arizona. Huh, that's so wild. Yeah, I think, I don't know, it's 7 o'clock here. I don't know what time it is in Arizona. Are you in the same time zone as us? I only use the iPad to sketch. I switch back and forth. The iPad has been like a back saver for me, actually. I usually use it to sit in, I have kind of a comfy chair back here that I kick back and can have the iPad on my lap and lean back and draw, which is really nice. That's wild, Dylan. I don't know what YouTube is doing. So, is this showing up okay? Should I go a little darker with this? It kind of shows up a little bit better. I have, so I started working this out a little bit. Oh, I should show this. This came in just a few days ago. This is the trade paperback version of the Black Hammer Omnibus. So it's got my my Black Hammer, my Colonel Weird story in here. Very fond of this. Although I swear there's something going on with like every book that I've ever worked on where it's like every time there's a new edition, it prints slightly darker and I don't know what's going on. Like I need to sit down with some of my editors and talk it over. And I actually need to pull it out and compare it to the other editions and make sure I'm not just imagining that it's getting darker, but it seems like it is. This thing's got this wonderful story in here too about Barbalian. And I just really love Gabriel Walta's work. He's so good. It's just such like a tight, clean. The way he renders things is so just really appealing. Love it. And that was written by Tate Bromble. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But this is a cool book. Way cheaper than, at $30, way cheaper than the hardcover edition that came out first. So I'm kind of using this to help remember how Colonel Weird looks. Because it's been a little while since I've drawn him. And the idea with this commission is he's just floating upside down in the farmhouse kitchen. Seemed kind of fun. Yeah, Anthony, I don't know how they're, like, they are really cheap for such, like, how beautiful they are. They're like, but in part, and most of the savings is just that they're printed overseas and they're a real standardized size and format, so the process gets really streamlined, I think, for those, which is probably where a lot of the savings is. I ordered a new 4x6 sketchbook and Winsor & Newton Pro Marker Plum. I'm excited. Nice. All right, I'm going to start digging in. So I have the beginnings of my sketch. Try to get this so it. Oh, that's probably good enough. And I just started laying in the background and got my perspective lines going. So I am going to start working on the background, I guess. Oops. Hey, Edie. No, you didn't miss that much. One thing I really like about penciling digitally is being able to just draw right through stuff. I like just drawing the background right through the kernel here. And I got him on a different layer so I can move him around, which is handy. Like, in fact, before I forget, I wanted to switch up this leg a little bit. I need to get better at using the perspective rulers. Yeah, man, that is like the other like really big appeal of working in Clip Studio Paint is the perspective rulers. And before I started penciling digitally, I would actually spend, like when I was penciling, I would spend, easily the first hour or two of my day just sort of like mapping out the perspective of the scenes I was going to draw that day. And it could be very time consuming. And being able to get them like this is just so great. Like the two reasons for penciling digitally for me is perspective rulers and being able to move things around after I've drawn them, which is very handy.
Should go for all traditional art supplies or go for drawing and digital for coloring their comic.
Yeah, it's a tough one, Dylan. Like, I don't know, and it totally depends on what you want to do, obviously. The coloring traditionally is it's faster for me, but it's only because I've been practicing it longer. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure if I practiced digital painting, I would get pretty quick.
And you can sell it.
Yeah, that you can being able to sell colored pages is really nice. But it's also like, I don't know, it's like working digital is obviously way more forgiving.
Are you doing anything to do the super straight lines?
I'm using the perspective rulers in
And
Clip
they're
Studio.
automatically syncing to it?
Yeah. I don't know, they're not showing up very good, but I have can you see those at all? Like, I don't want to screw these up, but if I make, when you make perspective rulers, you do layer, ruler frame, create perspective ruler, 2-point, and then you have these guys. Oh man, these are not going to show up on the camera. Usually what I do actually is I rough in a sketch and then I match the rulers to the sketch, which is what I did already. You can see my blue line sketch, and then I matched up the perspective rulers to that. Yeah, there's a lot of good tutorials online for how to do perspective rulers. Doing my first book digitally and plan on doing my next one traditionally. I feel like I'm missing something going straight digitally. It does feel like when I work digitally, it always feels like and it's silly because it's not true, but it always feels like I didn't actually make anything. Like I made something that only exists in my brain and on the computer. But when I make something on paper, it always feels more substantial somehow. And obviously because there's a physical thing that I can touch and look at and all that jazz. Are the pencils locked into the perspective guide? Yes, they are. As long as... there's two ways to make it not draw on the perspective guide, and that is to either hide the layer that the perspective guide rulers are on, or hit this little button up here. And that'll make it so you can... Like now it's free, I turn that on, and now I'm like stuck on the perspective rulers. Not every tool actually snaps to that though, which is interesting. Like the selection tool, the lasso selection tool doesn't snap, and the eraser tool doesn't snap either, which is interesting.
That seems good.
Yeah. Yeah, Edie, I think having no original art is, and that's a huge part of my like annual income is original art. So if I lost that, it would be kind of rough. And I don't think it would speed me up enough to justify missing out on that.
Oh, page count. It's the same. The page count's the same as last time, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh.
I'll look it up.
Mod says the page count remains the same, Keith. Mod's been so busy trying to set up the store on the website that we have not done any further inventory stuff. But I think we're like...
But I do have more.
Oh yeah, but we do have that whole section stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of art, guys. It's awful.
It's great. It's wonderful.
I want to do a checkerboard floor. I know there's ways to do this in Clip Studio that are like perfect.
I have the number when you're ready.
Oh, do you have the page count number?
Yeah.
All right, what is it?
2,919.
2,919 is the current page count. That's my score, everybody. Hey, Thunderstorm. Yeah, I've been doing pretty good.
Do you want to know how many books we have on hand for...
No, I don't want to know that. This past week actually has been a real challenge to get as much done as I would like. And I did okay. I did get stuff done, just not as much as I was hoping to.
thunderstorms here.
Yeah. Yeah, real close to 3,000. That's wild. Oh, Dylan, that's a good point. Just working traditionally can be really expensive. I mean, I don't even want to do the math. I have a tub um, full of my watercolor tubes, and it's easily a couple $100 worth of watercolor there. And I'll get to using it all eventually, but the upfront cost is pretty intense sometimes. And the good thing is that I love buying art supplies, so I get to do what I love a lot. Oh no, I'm sorry, Dylan. Happy birthday, though.
Hope you get some red velvet cake soon.
The voice in the background is Mott. Yeah, we got Mott in the studio tonight. Usually, they're up in the watching on TV or something. So the other thing about Clip Studio that where it's largely wasted on me is I actually use my favorite pencil is this guy, which is a slightly modified design pencil is what it's called. It just comes like it's one of the default pencils that comes with Clip Studio. And like I modified the opacity curve on it just a little bit, and I only use it in 2 sizes. I use 4 pixels and 8 pixels, and that's it. So I rough in with the 8 pixel one, and then I do my final with a 4. And that's kind of the only tools I use here. Like I use the rulers, but since I'm just using it for penciling, in fact, I wanted to goof around with simple mode a little bit. This is something I barely use. All right. Because it has a very limited tool set, and it's not quite the tools that I like to use. But we're going to try it anyway.
Anthony says art stores are the only shops where gold leaf is one of the cheaper items for sale.
That is a good point about the gold leaf.
Edie's asking, what brush do you use for inking?
You talking about inking digitally, Edie? Because I don't do that very often. I kind of only do that when I'm just sort of sketching.
That is what he's talking about.
Yeah. I use, what do I got here? I just use the default brushes. I use The Real G Pen is, I think, the one I use the most. It's like just like a kind of a normal tapered brush thing. But like I said, I don't use it. I don't ink very often in Clip Studio, so it's yeah. So I don't have like a really good good answer. Oh, whoops! Jesus Christ. Simple mode.
Are you doing black lines, or is that a dark blue?
These are black lines. Do you use Procreate at all? I have not had much luck with Procreate. I don't know why. There's something just about the way the brushes feel that just does not feel right to me. For my money, like the Clip Studio brush engine is the best. I think sometimes Photoshop has a really nice brush engine, but it's like Adobe just does not seem to really care for Wacom. Or no, I think it might just be an Apple thing. Like they hate Apple so much that they make shit work poorly. I don't know.
Dylan likes Medibang because it's free.
Oh, I've used Metabang and I actually liked I remember liking those brushes pretty good, actually. I think that's one of those programs that is really underrated. Oh, you know what I liked about Medibang a lot was the panel border tools. I thought were really great. I think they actually make a lot more sense than they do in Clip Studio.
Edie is agreeing that the issue that you were talking about earlier is definitely an Adobe Wacom thing.
Oh, yeah, you think that's an Adobe thing? Yeah. For some reason, it's an Adobe Wacom thing. Because also, like, Adobe and Apple have some sort of beef going on, too. And that's, like, Apple is basically responsible for killing Adobe Flash. And I don't really know why Apple hated Flash so much, but they did.
Tugboat is asking, is his beard tucked into his spacesuit? Is that hygienic?
Tugboat, you can't. Your beard has to go in. Every part of you has to go inside of your spacesuit. You can't have parts of yourself hanging out the spacesuit.
It's not sustainable.
Oh, interesting, Dylan. I've never used Canva. That's like a online design thing, right? I actually use It's silly. I use Affinity Designer to do my YouTube thumbnails, and I do it because I feel like um, Affinity tools are gonna be able to replace Adobe stuff really, really soon, and I have to have something so that I touch Affinity once a week, so I can stay in practice. Because when they're as soon as it's ready to go, like I want to be able to kill my Adobe subscription and just go with Affinity, which is I think like 99% there. They're so close.
Canva is kind of like that. It's pretty good, actually. That's what Dylan says.
Yeah, I know. Like they use that down at the library here in town for doing all their flyers and stuff. It seems like very user friendly.
So ED says Colonel Weird is my favorite Black Hammer character.
Yeah, I think Colonel Weird is just about everybody's favorite Black Hammer character. He's really fun. I definitely think. Well, I'm just guessing, but I get the feeling that he's Jeff Lemire's favorite character too.
Michael says, I mean, why wouldn't he be?
Exactly.
Keith is asking, when can they order the library's tote bags?
The library tote bags. They're the they're gonna be available really soon. They're gonna be two library tote bags. There's one that's just like the Love Our Library tote bag that you can get, but the one with my artwork on it is gonna be a limited edition one that you have to sign up for, and I don't remember. I don't know the info. But when I'll find out, and I'll try to get it back to you for next week. I have a watercolor swatch, and it has Byzantine purple, and I thought that would make a great color for one of my characters, but I can't find any paint or ink in Byzantine. I don't know if I've ever even heard of Byzantine purple. I wonder what the pigment is in that. Since I can't find the color, that kind of means digital might be the way to go for coloring. Yeah, no, if you're going digital, you'll definitely be able to recreate colors exactly. Yeah, like I don't know, almost no matter what color it is though, you can mix it is the thing, I guess. Like if you can't find a tube of the exact color, you could probably find two colors that are that you could mix into that purple. But I mean, that's the thing, like you were saying, it's so expensive. Like, you really won't know unless you buy the paint and try it out.
Tugboat is asking, have we been to the new books with pictures in Eugene?
I have not been to the new books with pictures in Eugene. I am excited for them. Are they? They're opening up this weekend, I think. I am probably going to be working all weekend. Otherwise, I would say we should go take a look. But
Might be fun.
that's like Eugene's about an hour or an hour and a half from here. I think closer to an hour and a half from here. Hey, Bovie. Daylight savings strikes again. Diox something. That's why I bought the plum-colored marker. It looked somewhat close to Byzantine. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard of Diox or Byzantine. Like, that sounds to me like one of those colors that is not like a standard. It's like some
Michael
paint
says
brand.
it's a brand specific color name. Yep. Oh no.
Yeah, it sounds like a
Michael's
brand
back.
specific color name.
Yeah.
Hey, Rudak. I'm glad you made it, man.
I think I found the Diox one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's a Winsor Newton color.
Oh, what? It's a purple?
Yeah, Winsor Violet. Dioxazine.
Well, it's looking up Diox purple. Oh, there we go. Windsor Violet Dioxazine. Sounds like medicine.
It does.
I hope this constant spinning doesn't like bum anybody out. Oh, there you go. Clear. Oh, no. How do I delete? No, that's to do that. What's that do? Nope. No, that's not what I want to do. Oh, I deleted it. Oh, I see what it did. Yeah, that's dumb. Jesus Christ, my eraser was set it so big. Yeah, I don't know about this simple mode. It'd probably just take me a while to get used to it. I had surgery 2 days ago, and I think that's one of the pain meds hospital gave me. Oh man, Bovie, I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, Tugboat, you probably do hear pants.
And Tibbs.
And here comes Tibbs, too.
You just made drawing hands look so easy.
Was that you saying that?
I did say that.
Drawing hands is fun. I'm gonna grab the guy.
Have you talked about that before?
I've shown this little guy on the stream before.
Oh wait.
Does it show up at all? Nope. That does not show up at all. Down here?
Nope. Oh.
It's tough, like the pink that I printed him in. This is a 3D print of a model. I made the model in Blender, and the pink that I printed him in does not like show up on camera very well. It's just so like the subsurface scattering on this is too intense. It just doesn't show up. Pudding skin. Yeah, I got rid of my 3D printer that I did this with because I got a little bit like sketched out on the fumes. But if I ever get another, like we're talking about building a little workshop off the house eventually, and if I do that, I'll have a place to do stuff like that again.
Keith asks, how did you find the learning curve on Blender?
The learning curve on Blender, as soon as whatever it was, 2.8 or whatever came out a couple years ago, it got so much easier to use. Because they started to use more standardized sorts of interface stuff. And yeah, and the big challenge with it is just that it is so it's so full featured that like there's just so much stuff in Blender that it can be really hard to know where to get started. I actually tend to, when I do 3D model stuff, I tend to start off using Nomad Sculpt on my iPad and then export those to Blender and do like some sort of final cleanup and rendering stuff. Because Nomad Sculpt on the iPad is like the bee's knees. It's such a good like sculpting tool. and it's really affordable. And I think it's just one guy who is developing it, and he's always updating it with great stuff.
ED says, I have a very strong urge to want that bust. Is it available? Is the 3D.
The 3D model for this bust is available on Thingiverse. I put it up there. It's been years now, but yeah, you can totally get it. And then if you wanted to print it, if you don't have a printer, you can always send it off to, there's like printing services where you could have it printed. Yeah, Emma, if you have the time, learning Blender is, I think, a really valuable tool. You can do so much in it. It's just really neat. I mean, coming from the video game industry like I did, um, like I used to do 3D modeling stuff all day, every day. So it was something that I sometimes miss doing just for fun, but it's also like really helpful to sometimes sculpt a little maquette for something.
Rudak asks, do you start with a 2D sketch and then import it into the sculpting program?
I usually don't do that. Because like I said, I like to start off in Nomad Sculpt, and it's not very good for that. Like the way it works, there's like one viewport, and it's sort of hard to it's hard to use 2D reference in that program. At least I've found. Blender, it's a little bit easier to do that sort of thing.
Have you ever built a 3D like interior or exterior of a building? Emma says that she's been struggling with interiors, and I'd love just make the building.
Yeah, using Blender for interiors and then using it with Clip Studio, I've not had a lot of luck with that. It works good in Blender to do that, but and I guess if you render out your 3D model and then bring it into Clip Studio, it can work really well. But the way the cameras work in Clip Studio, it is really hard to it's just really hard to sort of get around an interior space. It works better for like an object that you can orbit around. Like the project I'm currently working on has a lot of cars in it, a lot of specific cars, and I actually bought a 3D model, and then I can just bring the model into Clip Studio and rotate it around and get it where I need it and use that as my reference for how to draw the thing, which is very handy. But I've had less luck with like character model stuff. Although I will say I have sometimes used the standard model. Actually, you know what? I think I could be wrong because it's been so long, but I think I actually used the Clip Studio character model to get this pose, because the foreshortening was like giving me trouble. I could have also used. I have these little like posable figures that I use sometimes. I may have used that for this. I don't remember.
I think ED just found the model on Thingiverse.
Oh, nice, Edie. You found the model? Batmobile. That would be fun, but no. I think if I was going to do a Batman book, I would probably design my own Batmobile.
And then 3D model it.
And then 3D model it, yeah.
Dylan one's better?
They're just different. I don't think one's 2D. When it comes to animation, I don't think 2D and 3D are. I don't think one's better than the other, but I think yeah, I like both of them for different reasons. I like 3D stuff better when it's more stylized stuff. Like I really liked that Pixar one with the red panda.
Turning red, seeing red.
Turning red, something red. I really liked the cartoony style about of that. What about 3D
Turning
modeling Shrek?
It is turning red.
Turning red, yeah. Um, but like when Pixar tries to do stuff that's more realistic, I don't care for it at all.
Bo asks, have you seen Sandland? Sandland? Really like.
Have you seen Sandland? No, I have not seen that. I haven't even heard of that. Man, Rudek, 101 Dalmatians. That that era of Disney where they were not inking their cells, they were just doing the pencil, like sort of the tight pencils, is like some of my favorite animation ever done. So good.
Pippi's back. Pippi's here.
Hey, Pippi. I'm glad you could make it. Oh man, the other thing with 101 Dalmatians is I saw a thing where they showed how they did Cruella de Vil's car, where they built a model, like a physical model, and then stop motioned it, and that was how that car stayed so like perfectly 3D. So good. It's the new Akita. I don't know who that is. Akita Toriyama? I'm not like a big like animation head, so there's a lot of that stuff that I miss. Oh, I saw something. I think Instagram was trying to show me stuff about Gruff, Dylan. Well, hey, Mark. I'm glad you made it. Why aren't you snapping? Switching back to studio mode.
Akira Toriyama is the creator of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
Thanks, Rudek.
Yeah, I'm just like slightly too old for for Dragon Ball. Like I just missed it when it started coming out.
But we knew about it.
But yeah, like I mean everybody knows about it.
The Patty Freelang Pink Panther animation is Anthony's retro fave.
Is that the stuff that's like really like 60s stylized? The Pink Panther stuff. Oh, I never played Chrono Trigger, Mark. You'd think I would have by now. Yeah, Dylan, there's something like that. Like Dragon Ball was like Naruto, where it just went on forever.
Yeah, Anthony says it's that animation's from the 60s, the Pink Panther one. And Mark says Chrono Trigger takes 20 hours to play all the way through.
20 hours. That's a lot, man.
I don't know where to find that time anymore.
Well, we got more than that on
That's true.
on Zelda.
And we were able to put it down for a long time.
Yeah, I still haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom. I kind of suspect that it's going to stay like that. It's just going to remain unfinished and therefore perfect.
Bobby says Sandland is only 7 episodes, which seems rare for an anime to be so short.
Yeah, where's that? Where can you watch Sandlands? Your great grandfather animated Mr. Magoo and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, that's awesome.
The Sandland manga is only 1 book, says Rudak. And Bovie is saying that Sandland is on Disney Plus in Australia. Pippi's great-grandfather also did all the Rocky and Bullwinkle animations.
That's awesome, Pippi. I love that stuff. That's super limited animation. But like Rocky and Bullwinkle were like legitimately funny. Well, I should say I remember them as being legitimately funny. It's been a long time since I've watched.
Your cousin Billy's on. Says he's been watching the recordings of the streams and caught it live.
Oh, hey, Billy. It's nice to see you, man. I hope you're doing good. So the thing about these live streams is that they're live. There's there's a couple live streams that I check out regularly, and I never ever get to see them live.
Pippi's asking if anyone likes One Punch Man.
I have not read the One Punch Man manga, but I have. Actually, no, I have read like a first couple issues of One Punch Man. I thought it was pretty funny. The animation looks really funny too. I think I've probably watched more of the anime on Netflix than read the books.
Emiliano is on. It says greetings from Argentina.
Hello, Emiliano? All the way from Argentina. I'm glad you could make it. Tugboat, this is a commission. This is, the only note I had was that it needed to be Colonel Weird. Right, Dylan? It's so wild that, like, we can go worldwide with this stuff. It's nuts. It's really kind of beautiful.
Tugboat says, are you going to put something in the lower right corner? Tula, perhaps?
Tula does not exist in the Black Hammer universe, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately.
If she did, she would have superpowers.
Yeah, what would her superpowers be? She'd probably just be like super speed.
Yeah.
Poor Tula had to go in and get her pain med shot today.
She has arthritis.
How old is Tula? She's 16? 15 or 16?
Yeah.
She's turning into a little old lady, and it is rough sometimes. Her arthritis is so bad. Going for car rides is really rough for her. Because she won't sit down, she won't lay down and just, take the ride easy. She has to look out the window the whole time. So then she has to balance on her pained up hips.
Tugboat says that her superpower could be invisibility for sneaking into the kitchen to steal food.
Oh my god.
She would love that superpower.
What was that thing on Instagram today? Something about living with a dog is like 90% trying to figure out what the other what the other one is eating.
Yeah. Tibbs would be hiding behind that cabinet curtain, waiting to ambush somebody. Waiting to ambush two.
Getting pretty close.
Keith says, my cat Max learned to open the cabinet under the sink and just sit in there to avoid the other cat.
That's pretty cute.
Emma's asking, how does the perspective grid know which guide to snap to? Every time I try to use it, it always snaps to the wrong angle.
It does that to me a lot too, Emma. Like, I have to, it's taken me a long time to get used to it, but it's just like you got to get used to starting the line off enough in the right direction that it knows which one to, like, it can correctly guess. But man, it is, yeah, there's sometimes when it's really rough. And there's times too when it's like, you think you're on the right one, but it turns out it's just close enough to the wrong one that like you don't find out until you get way down the line.
There's some talk in here too about the new X-Men animated show, and Dylan says their favorite X-Men is Storm.
Man, that's because Storm's the best X-Man. X-Man. No, Storm is like absolutely the best X-Men.
If you're including the New Mutants.
New Mutants are not X-Men. Yet.
yet. Pippi says, I have not tried this mode in Procreate, but I believe it's somewhat similar, right? The
Not tried this mode in
lines.
Procreate. Are you talking about the perspective lines, Pippi?
I think so.
It's great to see John Colonel Weird again. Yeah, Colonel Weird's fun. It's been a while since I really have thought about him, but as soon as I pulled out this book today and was looking through it, I'm like, man, I kind of miss this guy. You know, Pippi, I haven't used Procreate enough to know how the perspective rulers work in there. Yeah, so I couldn't really tell you how they compare. I don't. I've tried using Procreate and it just hasn't worked for me. I don't know what it is about that program.
Mark, is it your birthday today? Because Mark says, wait, Dylan, it's your birthday too?
Is today everybody's birthday?
And Rudak says Procreate's perspective lines work the same.
Okay.
It is Mark's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Mark. That's awesome. Dylan's is tomorrow. Well, that's great because it's tomorrow in Australia.
That's why Mark was late. His birthday celebration.
Oh, man. Happy birthday, everybody. That's so cool.
Today is also the 30th anniversary of Hellboy.
Oh, that's right. I think I saw some of that on Instagram.
Rudak says that we're chatting with the future. Talking to people in Australia and tomorrow. Mark spent the morning chatting about Hellboy with the Hellboy Book Club.
I need to just subscribe to those. I like those Hellboy book clubs so much. Yeah, something I've been doing in Clip Studio lately that has been pretty great is to just throw down another layer and then get kind of a big brush. Where's my brush, guys? Like maybe a 12. And then go through and lay in some of the shading and work out the lighting a little bit before I move to paper. And that's been helping me a lot. It's been really great, actually. And I think the light source here is the window. It's like all of this is going to be in shadow. And then lots of times when I go to print this out, I'll make this like a color, like that. And then I'll light box it. And then keep the pencil with the roughed in light stuff to the side so I can reference it as I'm working. That's been really helpful. I've been really using that a lot.
Billy says, your cousin Hendrix is getting into comics. Billy's son Hendrix is getting into art, comics and the like, and thinks it's sweet that a legit comic book artist is involved.
Oh, that's awesome, Billy.
He's liking seeing the process work.
Yeah, tell Hendrix I said hi. I hope you guys are doing good. I haven't seen hardly anybody in forever. I mean, what with the global pandemic, and now every airplane has doors falling off them, it seems like. Don't know why I would ever leave home.
Yeah, Rudek saw that Last Week Tonight episode about Boeing.
Yeah, it's terrifying. And it's like terrifying how that whistleblower guy came down with Epstein syndrome.
Anthony hates flying even when the doors stay on. Dylan says on an Uber ride, a guy was listening to, I guess the driver maybe was listening to a podcast about how planes are really safe, but then right after that, planes are losing their doors. They probably still are safer than driving.
I think statistically, airplanes are even with the doors falling off safer than driving, but
Pippi says, have to fly to England in 2 months. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, take a boat. Yeah, Rudek, it seems like venture capital stuff is like ruining everything lately.
Well, for forever.
Well, for forever, yeah. But I mean, lately it's been like an epidemic of just like things that you think should not fail basically end up failing. It's really pretty wild.
Typo wishes Colonel Weird had a theme song.
Colonel Weird. Colonel Weird does things that are really weird. Is he weird? Yeah, he's weird. Super weird. Colonel Weird.
And a beard. You know what? With beard.
Colonel Weird. Colonel Weird. Guy has a big old fluffy beard. I think... I don't know if I drew the farmhouse at all in here. This, I just remembered. Wait, where'd it go?
Bovie says put some synth behind that song and it's all good. I think theremin. I think it needs some theremin.
Some theremin?
Theremin, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look it up, I think. I wanna, I think I want the, like the windmill out here. And then maybe we can see the edge of the barn too. I think that'll be nice out there. Well, I think that's going to do it. The only thing left to do is do want to do the checkerboard floor, but I think I'm going to have to actually look at a tutorial for how to do that right. It's so rare that I do a repeating pattern in perspective. I don't remember how to do it. So I think I'll probably do that tomorrow. Because watching me watch a tutorial is not good streaming content. Oh, the other thing, save as. There we go. I should have saved that like a long time ago. Oh, thanks, Mark. This scene, I made it a little bit too blue. I think it's a little bit too dark. But like I was saying, everything seems to be printing darker and darker. I don't know what's going on. Still love this cover, though. I think this is still one of the best covers I ever did. Feel really good about that one. Love this dude. I need to talk to Lemire about bringing him back as a regular guy. cool hippie dude. Oh man, Pippi, sorry you missed out. I'm pretty sure that page, that cover got sold a long time ago, but I don't remember to whom. Okay, that's it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me, keeping me company on a Friday night. I think we got a lot done on this commission. I feel really good about it. Oh, nice, Bovie. I'm glad you picked it up. Oh, yeah, don't forget to like the stream. And, yeah. I hope everybody has a good weekend and they have a good week. And I'll see y'all next Friday. And make sure to take some time this weekend and tell the people you love how much you love them. And I love all you guys. Okay, everybody, have a good one. Bye.